Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Danny Mustafa with Aladdins Window Tinting, and if you're thinking about buying graphics online and installing them yourself, then this is the video for you. I'm Danny with Aladdins Window Tinting, and today we're going to go ahead and wet install some pre-cut vinyl graphics that a client purchased online and brought in. Really popular American flag graphics. Pretty much there's a bunch of stuff going on here because I'm just trying to flatten out the rolled up vinyl. It's a cold morning, but essentially the stuff in the middle here is what we're using for install. We've got alcohol to prep the surface, a squeegee, a knife to cut the graphics that are going to be overhanging the window, and some tape to hinge it on. This will be the solution that we're going to use to do the wet install for this. Wet installs are always going to give you a better install in terms of less air bubbles and debris and things like that. So let's get into it. All right guys, so I sprayed my slip solution underneath it, peeled my backing paper off, and now the goal is to just try to work it out evenly and not have the film bind up as you squeegee it out. So I was having some issues with getting it to kind of lay down flat right here. It's starting to kind of finger up and bind up because of the tape and the fact that it's curved a little bit. So I actually came down a little bit and found a space throughout the middle where I could get everything down nice and smooth. And I'm gonna go ahead and work my way up and out from here. After I get this tacked down, I can pull my tape that's hinging it and know that it's not going to change my placement at all. I've gotten this pretty much all squeegeed out and laid down flat. Bradley had an interesting question a second ago about the areas that he was seeing that were starting to release from the transfer tape in between the vinyl. So I know that this is stuck down as far as vinyl goes, and that's actually just between the transfer tape and the vinyl. And then in other instances, you'll see it actually, you might see fingers where there's not any vinyl at all. So like the vinyl strips are right here. This is space between the glass. So that's why those are bubbling up like that. So what we're gonna do now that we've got everything kind of pushed out to the edges is let it dry a little bit while we go to the other side, and then we can come back and start continuing to push down some of the edges that are still lifting up and start trimming it. All right guys, it's a chilly morning, so I pulled it out into the sun, try to help facilitate the drying process a little bit. This is the side I started with. It's already been on there longer, so I put it in the sun first. Just gonna let it get a little bit warm, continue to push the edges down that aren't stuck as well a little bit out with my squeegee, and then I'll be ready to pull this transfer tape off after, I don't know, I'm just probably gonna leave it out here for maybe like 10 minutes or so, and then switch sides while I pull the transfer tape off this side. So see you in 10. So we're back after about 10 minutes, did a 180 on the vehicle to put the wetter side in the sun so it could dry. And now I'm gonna start trimming the edges and then get the transfer tape wet to peel it. It's had a little bit of time to dry. It's still the film will still be lifting up a little bit on the edges. So you wanna try to seat it in there as tight as you can to make sure there's no gap. And that's basically it. We're gonna use our retractable knife blade with our super sharp they're called art and craft blades. They're OFA blades, but they are different ones than we use for window tinting. All right guys, I trimmed off the excess, and the areas where it's floating up and over the seal, it's still gonna have moisture behind it. And so what I do is make my cut so that I can lay it down nice and flat, let that dry a little bit more before I pull my transfer tape. Essentially that's the starting point all the way around, and so those areas are gonna wanna lift. So we're gonna let that, by the time I'm done trimming the other side, I should be able to come back and pull the transfer tape off. All right guys, I'm gonna talk you through trimming this one. What I like to do before I cut it is just come back through, try to seat the vinyl in as close as I can to the seals, and lifting it up a little bit kind of helps with that. And so we're gonna push all this stuff down. Oh, off the stool. And that just makes it a tighter cut against the seal between the vinyl. All right, retractable blade, snap it off, start fresh. And I'm only gonna have it sticking out just a hair and I'm gonna angle it basically into the corner. So I'm gonna start right here and just nice and smooth using the window seal. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to just push the edge down, let it dry for just a couple more minutes, and we should be able to pull the transfer tape and wrap this up. Alright guys, so we got the finished deal. Let's go check it out. Whenever you do a wet install, it's always going to come out a lot more flawless looking, no air bubbles, just nice and nice finish. You will see water bubbles, so like fellow business owners and stuff like that, let your clients know that it can take a little bit of time to dry. Not to wipe it, no auto car washes or anything like that. And for the DIYer, if you have moisture bubbles, don't drip out too much. Like those will definitely dry. It'll look better over time. But yeah, that's the finished deal. I appreciate you guys watching so much. Let me know what questions that you might have if you are trying to do this yourself, and can't wait to catch you on the next piece of content. See you later. Thanks.